Ways your task reminders can backfire. Part 4, you have hidden follow-up. So this is when the main part of the task is done, but there's hidden secret tasks that need to be done before we feel really finished. For example, maybe the task says, paint the room, but you've painted the room. You just need to put the furniture back or take the painter's tape off the windows. But the task still says, paint the room. You don't want to just get rid of it because you need the reminder to do those things, or you just see them all the time and they bother you. But if we never explicitly think of what it is we need to do to finish up, it may not happen naturally. People don't usually think of these tasks as being stuck, but that open loop of there's still something else to finish up can add to our exhaustion and stick other tasks that we'd like to get started on. It sort of adds to the overall overwhelm. If this is still a task in your system that says something like paint the room, it's really important to rephrase the task to reflect what you actually need to do. But this one's a little bit more flexible. Maybe you just decide, those other tasks I was going to do, I'm not going to. I don't mind painter's tape on the window. Or maybe once you realize it, you take down the tape right now if it's really fast to finish up. Or if it's a little bit more complicated and actually needs to happen, take a minute to pause and figure out what it is that needs to happen. And then rephrase the task to say that. Like the other things I've talked about, of course, it is draining to have something that's inaccurate because you have to think about it, but also we want as few cleanup tasks on our list as possible. By the time we're getting into these wrap tasks, the motivation is usually completely gone. The main part is done. It feels like we should just move on. There's even less motivation to finish up these little fiddly bits that don't feel like the main event. It's one of the reasons that it's so hard for a lot of us to do billing after the job is already done. It feels like, I did that job. What are you talking about? But sometimes with these, we can just decide not to finish anymore. For example, my ADHD dad is amazing at starting and finishing household tasks. Install a new sink, he's just done. But a lot of times there's tools left out afterwards. But if he doesn't quite finish up one of the pieces, he doesn't writhe in guilt about it. It's just, in his mind, done. And yes, my mom made peace with this once I explained that her choices were either he works like this or projects never get started because he overthinks it to death. I think she prefers this one. Whatever you decide, it's about making peace with it so you can move on to the next thing. Do you ever have almost finished tasks with hidden follow-up? What's worked for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you're interested in more like this, check out my course, Unstuck Your Tasks.